legends? I hope you're all fantastic. Today we're taking a look at the Mud Killer from Electric Eye Audio, and as you can probably guess from the colors of the knobs, this is an overdrive pedal inspired by classic 3-knob overdrive pedals, but it gives you this 4th knob and a bunch of little switches. But we have this mud control on here that basically is going to attenuate low end going into your amplifier, and that is a classic recipe for modern high gain. You take an awesome sounding high gain amp that maybe is a little bit kind of loose or flubby in the low end, and you shape it with an overdrive pedal. So you apply pre-EQ. You normally just have a kind of tone control on there, which is going to pull out low end and accentuate the mid range, whereas in this case we have the tone control, but we have a dedicated low end control on there. Let's get into it. Let's get started with my old 2-channel dual rectifier, pretty much the opposite of tight, refined high gain. This is the starting point. Then I'm going to bring the pedal in with the pre-gain circuit bypassed and the tone and mud control at their minimum. So they're basically going to do nothing. Next, I'm going to bring up the mud control. So it's a basic high pass filter in there. The fewer low frequencies that get fed into the amp, the less muddy the distortion is going to sound, because you're not going to be distorting those low frequencies as much. Basically, think about it like this. A low frequency comes into the amp at a certain volume and it gets cranked up. When it gets cranked up past a certain level, it just turns to mush. Whereas if we take those high frequencies and we bring them right down so they don't get cranked up and multiplied as much, that's what this control's doing. Let's start with it at noon and I'll try to find the sweet spot. That's pretty cool. Where is that? About 1, 2 o'clock. Then I can bring the tone control in to really kind of accentuate the upper mids, I guess. Next, I actually want to boost the amp now. I want to add some more gain in there. So I'm going to bring the pre-gain control in. I'm just going to set it to around 10 o'clock. I've got the comp switch to the left, so it's silicon diodes. Now I'm really starting to push the amp hard. So that's getting pretty ridiculous, right? Let's flick the comp switch to the right. This is the LED mode. And then with the mud control all the way up, it gets super duper tight. Of course, one thing I could do is like bring the tone control down, turn the mud control down, and just slam this with the pre-gain control and go super doom. Let's hear it with the Soldano now. The Soldano already sounds pretty good because it's a Soldano. Of course it sounds pretty good. When I kick the Mud Killer in, the pre-gain circuit is going to be disabled, and I've got the tone control at about 1 o'clock and the mud control at noon, so we can really slam it with some pre-EQ in there. Let's hear it. So that's pretty insane. It makes an already good thing really, really good in there. And I kind of prefer it with the comp switch to the right on there. So you've got the LEDs going, but you do not need much of that pre-gain control on top of everything to just kind of take that amp and make it an absolute berserk gain machine. To round it out, let's hear it with something a little bit cleaner, and I'll just use it like a traditional kind of TS style overdrive. I'm back on the Recto, this time on the clean channel. It's easy to forget that they do have clean channels. This is the neck and middle pickup combo on my Strat. And I'm going to bring this in with the comp switch to the left, so silicon diodes. I've got the pre-gain and the post-gain at about 1 o'clock, and the tone control at noon. The mud control is all the way down. It's quite a nice bluesy drive. Let's see the difference between that and the comp switch to the right. So that switch to the right is actually a lot louder on there, which I tried to compensate with the post gain control. Let's play around with the mud control on this. I kind of like where this is at for like a bluesy Strat drive. Let's see if we can just get that low end dialed in a little bit better. kind of reminds me of another pedal that I've recorded with before and I really, really like. It's the Amp Tweaker Tight Drive. And on the Amp Tweaker stuff, you have the tight control. On this, you have the mud control. And they seem to do a similar job. They basically just build on that classic Tube Screamer style design and give you a few little options in there. The Amp Tweaker does it in a slightly different way, especially on like the Tight Drive Pro. You've got an effects loop and you've got that design, which you will either love because it's so big and chunky, or you'll kind of be in another mind about because it's just so big and chunky. I know they do make a smaller version of that, but you know, it seems like such a small thing to put a high pass filter on something like a Tube Screamer, but it does make it immensely more versatile if you're the sort of person playing in low tunings into high gain amps and you want the character of a rectifier, but you also want it to get on with those low tuned guitars. And you know, it can be the difference between a pretty good guitar sound and an absolute stank face approved guitar sound. And this pedal is well worth checking out for the price. I think they're about $160 US. So less than $200 US, you can get something that will do the Tube Screamer thing, it will do the tight drive thing, but it will do it in its own way and with the mud control and with the different clipping options. And the thing that I didn't even talk about, the fact that there is an amp switch you can engage on there. So there's a little relay, which you can set either on or off depending on the status of the pedal. So you could go from a clean sound to your mega boosted ultimate Chungus guitar sound in there. So pretty cool little pedal from Electric Eye Audio. If you've got any other questions, let me know in the comment section below. If you're using one of these, let me know what you're using it with, because the only thing better than an awesome high gain amp is a high gain amp that is being boosted into oblivion. Thanks so much for watching the video. I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.